Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cooking with Big Mark.
Good day, folks. I'm sure you've all heard the ad for Arby's restaurants, and they say, "We got the meat." Well, today we're going to talk about meat, but we're going to be doing something a little different with it. And which, for someone like me who's a mayonnaise lover, that's we're going to slather it with mayonnaise. But the purpose behind it is to develop browning and do it in a much easier way than we would normally try and do, especially with thin cuts of meat. So what it is, browning, there's some people, even on grilled cheese now, will take it and use it on the bread as opposed to butter because it browns up faster. But mayo is an emulsion of oil in water. It is mostly fat, but it is a great delivery mechanism for fat-soluble compounds. And people put aromatics in, and because of the way it's built. And it's an emulsion, and it's a homogeneous mixture of two or more things that normally don't go together. And what you do is you beat them to the smaller part, and they get those so small they have a hard time separating again. And that's where the viscosity comes from. It is better. That's why mayonnaise, when you put it on something, it has that sort of that semi-solid look to it. It doesn't slide off, and it stays wherever you put it. It stays. So that's also very beneficial. The other big thing that's in the besides water and the fat in mayonnaise is egg protein, because eggs are used in it. And that, when you cook with the browning and type of thing, this is really what it's all about. The water evaporates, and what is sort of left on the meat would be the egg protein and some fat. And that's where the browning comes from. Now, especially you get into thin cuts of meat like thin pork chops or flank steak or anything that's thin. By the time you try and burn it to get some flavor, grill it to get some flavor, it can burn. So the mayonnaise sort of obviates that. And also it creates its own oil in the pan. You don't have to add anything else to it. I did a hamburger the other night with it, and what I did was I made the patty. I had a nonstick pan, I put a little salt and pepper in it, and I put the mayonnaise on one side of the hamburger, then put it in mayonnaise side down, and immediately put some more mayonnaise on the top. And after 3 or 4 minutes, it developed its own oil. It was sizzling away, and then I flipped it over, and I ended up getting a sort of a char-broiled hamburger with a beautiful medium rare interior that really tasted great. The place I first saw this used was on chicken, and the same thing again, a chicken breast. You just 3 or 4 minutes inside with it, and you get this nice color and something that sort of builds up. A lot of people, if they try and use sauces to grill with, like teriyaki or barbecue, they burn because of the high sugar content. And that's why this method with the mayonnaise works. You can also put in a little bit of barbecue sauce, or a little bit of teriyaki, or any other herbs or flavors that you want to put in. We talked last week about the basil mayonnaise, these other mayonnaises I make. This is the same type of thing, but just used, on meats. So it's a vehicle for getting browning, for getting flavor, for not burning stuff, and it actually works. And I think a lot of people think of mayonnaise, in the old days when you say you get a mayonnaise sandwich, don't leave it out. You have to eat it like 5 minutes after it's made, or you're going to be poisoned or something. Well, there was some credence to that, because a lot of people made their own mayonnaise. They used raw egg, and that's where the problem came. But now with all the commercial processes and everything do, that's not a problem anymore. And anybody who has had crab cakes, which is a big item in this country, the main ingredient besides crab is mayonnaise. That's what holds it all together, the crumbs and whatever other seasonings are put in. So you can use mayonnaise in a lot of things that, if you in quiche, for example, you want to make it smooth it out or make it a little creamier, it goes with it. So you're going to stuff a chicken with some spinach and herbs and cream cheese, add a little mayonnaise to it, makes it a little easy to hold together and smooths the flavor out. They also have a thing called mayonnaise muffins, which it's just self-rising flour, milk, and mayo. And they're supposed to be very good. People better like them. They're moist, and they're very easy to put together. There are some desserts that had mayonnaise, a blueberry compote I saw that had mayonnaise in it. So it's just a new way to deal with meats. And when I'm doing these sessions, I try to find things I think are sort of different. And I thought this mayonnaise thing was different, and it really works. So it's something you might want to try. And the big thing you got to remember is when you use mayonnaise, it doesn't make the thing you're putting it on taste like mayonnaise. It's just a vehicle for browning, not for flavor enhancement. And that's pretty much the story today.
It's almost the way that alcohol cooks off when you cook with wine or something like that, where you're just left with the flavor.
Yeah, well, the water, the water evaporates. And so
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's something new. I guess it's been around for a while, but I somehow escaped me. But I just found it fun to do.
They make mayonnaise cake, don't they?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cakes. I think velvet cake, red velvet cake. I think has a lot of mayonnaise in it.
Interesting. Yeah, one restaurant I worked at, we had these drop biscuits, and when I realized how much mayonnaise was in them, I really cut down my consumption of them because it was just an epic amount of mayonnaise.
Well, it is a fat. It is a fat, but as I say, when the browning process, really, it's most of it. A lot of the fat, the oil comes off, like a cooking oil. When I had that hamburger out, there was a little whole pile of oil there, which you're not eating. So right. It's not coming as part of it.
Well, since we were focusing on hamburgers partly today, I tried to find a wine that would be a great hamburger pairing. And this is what I have. This is Filon. This is a 2019 Garnacha, hence Grenache, from Catalayud in Spain. This is in the Aragon region. Very kind of arid soil, which the Grenache really takes to. It's windy, so that gives some good temperature modification, because of course it is a very hot area of Spain. It doesn't get a lot of rain, which I suppose I just said by saying arid, but to make a point. Beautiful dark purple here. And when you think about pairing wine and food, you're basically either trying to play against it or play with it. And so in this case, Grenache, grown in this region, has all the richness, the meatiness, the juiciness, all of the best attributes of a really good hamburger. So we give it a little smell here. You're getting a real cassis thing, also some black raspberry, really pretty nose. And then oh yeah, that would be perfect. It's really rich and juicy, but it does have some underpinning tannins.
Beautiful deep color too.
Oh, absolutely. This would be wonderful with a hamburger, which we might have to enjoy tonight. You've gotten me in that frame of mind. In any case, this has been Cooking with Big Mark. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time, and also on WinCam, Winchester's public access television. Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.